What's up, everybody, and welcome to Ohio Sports Talk. I am your host, Doug. That's the coach, Jordan Maxon. Jordan, care to explain to us why you were in that current situation?
Little note to our fans here. I was at a ultra scrimmage with Versailles, and on my way home, my pickup truck that I'm in started overheating. So I am awaiting assistance. Still stuck in between Miamisburg and Centerville, but the show must go on, Douglas. I'm verbally here, so my appearance and kind of the dark moonlight we got going on, we'll roll with the punches. But I'm still here. I'm still going to be my charismatic self, and I'm going to rock with the show until my help arrives.
All right, Jordan, we obviously appreciate you hanging with us until the tow truck gets there. Jordan, let's start off, man. You mentioned the scrimmage. You guys start the season next week. We're hoping to get another coach on, I believe, Monday night to try to break down a little bit of altar football before the kickoff next week. So we're working on that for everybody.
Yes.
Anything else going on, Jordan? Because we've got a lot to get into today. A lot of exciting stuff, and then some bad news for our two football teams that we'll definitely be touching on. So, what else is going on with you?
Uh, Not too much. Kids' first day of school. Got to send Jordan Jr. off. She's a freshman in high school. Douglas, I'm not ready for it, but life goes on. It'll hit you faster than you think.
Yeah.
And she kicked butt today. She got her classes, got her schedule, and I'm pretty happy with it. But being on a high school level, she's going to be competing in some basketball this season. She's going to be competing in some other sports once we hash the rest of it out. So I'm super excited for her. She's growing in front of my eyes, and I was a proud father. So other than that, we're locked and loaded and ready to dive into some awesome talk here.
Of course, of course, of course. And it's great to hear that, she's moving into that and you feel comfortable with it. That's all really great. So happy for Jordan. Let's get into it because the Cincinnati Reds they're playing great baseball, buddy. They're playing really, really well. They've reeled us back in. The excitement's back. Where do you want to start with the Reds? Because there's a lot of different ways we can go with this team right now.
Well, let's talk about the bullpen. We'll start there through the Cardinal series, Douglas. The bullpen virtually kept them damn near scoreless. If my stats that I went through this morning, and even a little bit late last night after the game. So let's hands out to the bullpen. They made a hell of a series stand when they had to come in, and I know the offense was there and the run support was there, but even if the run support wasn't fully there, Douglas, they kept them in the game and they kept them with the chance to win it. So that I'll start at the bullpen because that's an area we've kind of we harped on. We made the big trades. When it came to the bullpen,
Big trades.
well, not big trades and necessarily acquiring talent, but guys that have been there for a couple of years and familiar names in the rotation. Yeah. It's been kind of rebuilt from the ground up. So I was really happy to see these guys perform on a level we haven't seen. And 2017, Douglas, it's been since 2017 since we swept the Cardinals. So damn, that feels
awesome.
Good.
That was really, really fantastic. 2017, what a stretch to not be able to beat up on a team like we did the Cardinals. It felt really good to get out there and just kick the shit out of the Cardinals, Jordan. 3 straight games. We showed up every single game and we put it on them. It was fantastic. I got to tell you, man, in last night's game being a complete bullpen game, we gave up the 2 runs with Carson Spires, but if you brought it up, in 3 games, the bullpen, counting Spires, gave up 2 runs in 3 games. And the Reds went out and scored 19 runs in those 3 games. I believe they hit 10 home runs over that time, over those 3 games set. That was huge, Jordan. We come out of this series. We're the number 2 team in the NL Central now. We've made some ground up in the wild card. We are currently 4 games out in the wild card. San Francisco's 3.5 ahead of, or 3.5. The Mets are 2, and the Braves are sitting in that 3rd and final wild card spot. the race is still alive, Jordan. There is still opportunities for the Reds to make up ground. We start tomorrow night, a big series against Kansas City. Kansas City is a really good baseball team. They are sitting in the third wild card spot in the AL right now. So another important series. Every series is going to be important from here going out, Jordan. What are you looking forward to the next couple weeks with this team? Quick shout out to Tyler McGurk, Sports with a Slur. Check out his show. Does a fantastic one-man show. Him and then the TMB show where they cover the 49ers. Those West Coast guys don't have anything better to do than talk about the 49ers. So check out their guys' show. They're great, knowledgeable sports fans. But Jordan, what are you looking forward to with the Reds? Starting tomorrow night, another series that we have to win.
Well, Douglas, and I'm going to sound like a broken record. Can the offensive? I don't expect big home runs night in and night out.
Yeah.
India had a hell of a night coming back off rest. Hats off to him for a 3-hit night, 2 home runs. But can the offense find this consistency? Can we get the 3 to 5 run? Can we just get that? Can we get the 3 runs, the 5 runs? Brian is the man. Run support from these guys, and I think that's got to be the question. We know what the bullpen can bring. We know our starting pitching has been, excellent at times, but baseline they've been decent. It's been the run support, Douglas. That's been the story in the losses.
Yeah.
We look at game 2 against the Brewers. Our pitching only gives up 2 to 3 hits. We only give up about 2 runs, but we lose it in dropping a goose egg on the scoreboard and not getting it done with the bats. So we've seen their hot bats before. We go back to the Miami series. We've seen this 3-game stretch before where the bats can absolutely be monstrous. And then we get into other series and we cool down. So I'm going to look for offensive consistency here. I know what the pitching staff's going to bring. We're going to be back into the strength of our rotation for the series stand. But, what can a run support do to get these guys over the hump and potentially above 500?
So, Jordan, like you just mentioned, tomorrow night, Nick Martinez is pitching against former Red Lorenzen, sorry. And then we've got Lodolo going in game 2 against Waka. Then game 3 on the MLB Network, we got Andrew Abbott versus Singer. That's 3 solid pitching matchups. Nick Martinez I believe his last game, he was the one who pitched the 7 innings against Milwaukee, and they ended up losing that 1-0 game where he had 7 Ks and only gave up 1 hit. So I think we owe him some runs tomorrow night after that hell of a pitching performance. So hopefully, I'm not expecting him to come in and just shut down Kansas City, but I am expecting him to come out and pitch well, and hopefully the run support comes along with that, because like I said, he was really, really good last time out, and we need him to reproduce and be on a similar level coming tomorrow night. Jordan, anything about the offense? TJ Friedel hits 2 home runs last night. The captain, Jonathan India, hits 2 home runs last night. Like you said, the long ball, we can't always count on it, but man, it's really, really fun when this team is out and hitting the ball and getting it out and doing it was so fun to watch, man. It was so fun to watch.
I couldn't agree more. Especially in Great American Ballpark, we know the story there. It's known for giving up some home runs, but it's always great to see it when it's in our favor. So that was an absolute fireworks of a show last night. I'm sad. They had the day off, but I'm kind of happy we get the day off. Everybody kind of gets that rest. We're back at home, so we're not on the road wasting time, doing the hotel stuff. So these guys were able to ice. Our medical staff's right there. And, I'm excited. I think we can carry it over. I've been wrong when I said that before. But, offensively, we're at home. Everybody's starting to feel good. We have a 4-game stretch, so we beat multiple teams in a stretch. Game 2 for the Brewers, we kind of let slide out because the bats were cool. So realistically, the last 5 games, Douglas, we've been in it, and they have chances to win. And going 4-1 in the last 5,
Oh, Jordan's out. I'm going to move him out for a second. I'll let him come back in a second. He, again, dealing with car trouble. He's doing his best. I appreciate him even getting on and trying. Yeah, got a lot going on for him over there. But like he said, the bats, the inconsistencies of the offense, we've got to try and get some run support for Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez, like we said, great outing last time. Looking forward to him going tomorrow night. I believe the game is going to be on ESPN Plus. I know some of you guys don't love that. I personally do because of the outages in Ohio. It's really weird the way it's set up. So I do appreciate some of these games being put on ESPN Plus. Let's transition though, guys. We're going to get into a little Browns football. I mean, let's take a quick sigh, guys. The Browns. The problem with the media is we never know what we're getting. You'll get tweets about, oh, Deshaun Watson's been terrible in practice. Oh, he's throwing interceptions. He's missing passes. He's doing all this. He's doing all that. The O-line is struggling. And then we hear the flip side of it. Oh, Deshaun Watson, he did have a bad throw, but he's bounced back with 2 or 3 touchdowns in the red zone. And then you get the should the Browns move off of him? Should the Browns look for another QB? Look, I've said it all along, and I will keep saying it. This is the season. If Deshaun Watson is going to come back and be relatively close to what he was as the Texans quarterback, this is the year. We've given him the time. He's had the time off. It's time for it to come around and to get back into that position of being a top 5 to 10 quarterback in the league. The Browns need it. If this team has the legitimate aspirations that we keep hearing about from management, no problem with management saying it, but we have to have our quarterback getting it done at a high level, and so far he has not. I know we get the flashes of him being great, and I love watching him when he's going. That comeback against the Ravens last year, it was incredible. I will never forget the way he battled with that shoulder injury to get back into the game and get us a massive, massive win. So I believe Deshaun Watson can get back to that position, but will he? Week 1 against Dallas is going to tell us a lot. If the O-line is struggling at tackle like we've been hearing, it's going to be even worse because Micah Parsons is going to be absolutely all over Deshaun Watson. It could be a very long day. I picked us to beat Dallas a couple weeks ago, and I stand by that. I am a little bit worried, though, coming into that game if the offensive line isn't as solid as we believe they should be. I know left tackle, right tackle is an issue. We've got James Hudson in there. We've got different lineups coming in and out. We need to solidify the offensive line before week 1. And then let's jump into the preseason game 2. Obviously, the Vikings, we know Watson's not going to play. We know the Vikings have had injuries. J.J. McCarthy out for the season. Jordan Addison was a little bit banged up. Everything we've seen from our practices and our crossovers are somewhat positive. I feel like the videos going around on Twitter all day today were Martin Emerson and Justin Jefferson. Looked like Martin Emerson was absolutely battling his ass off against the best receiver in the NFL and giving him fits all day. Now, you got to take into consideration Justin Jefferson does have Sam Darnold throwing to him, which could lead to some of that. But everything I saw, Martin Emerson looks like he's going to be an absolute lockdown corner again this year. And in my opinion, could work his way into being one of the top 10 corners in the NFL. So that is something to be extremely excited about. I love watching Martin Emerson play. And then, it's also cool getting to see, Jerry Jeudy, the highlights of Jerry Jeudy, the way he's getting in and out of his cuts, the way he's making plays, getting open. We saw the clip of him with the touchdown today. Jerry Jeudy is going to be very dangerous in this offense, in my opinion, and I'm really, really excited to watch Jerry Jeudy play in a Kevin Stefanski offense. Quick question here. Quick shout out to Elite Tweet Center also. Will Cleveland lean on the running backs? Maybe Watson goes more conservative, less turnovers, let the defense win games. So I believe that will be that the offense should be probably 50 55 to 58% pass and, 45 to 46% run. Because here's the thing, we don't have Nick Chubb back yet. Until Nick Chubb gets back, I do believe we're going to be a passing offense where we're working the running backs in through the pass game and using them more as a buffer to take shots down the field, things like that. Jerome Ford is a solid running back. He just does not have that same explosive pop that Nick Chubb has. And again, Nick Chubb is a freak of nature. If you've watched him play, you know he is an absolute monster. I just, I think it's going to be a lot of passing because the weapons. Let's talk about the weapons. Amari Cooper is still one of the best, 15 receivers in the NFL. Jerry Jeudy looks like he is reinvigorated. He is a very talented player. Elijah Moore is going to be back into his natural spot, more in the slot and being able to work in and out of the middle of the field. And then we've got David Njoku. He's one of the most talented tight ends in the NFL, and we've got to continue to get him the ball. So Jerome Ford will be a buffer in between, but I expect us to throw the ball a lot because we went out and got these weapons, and until Nick Chubb gets back, it's not going to be as productive as it could be. Sports with a slur. As an Ohio State fan, does it tickle you a tiny bit? JJ is out for the year. No, not really. I feel like after you get out of college, it doesn't really feel the same. I kind of feel bad for the guy because, all indications were pointing to he was going to be their starter, and I don't have any ill will towards the Minnesota Vikings. So kind of felt bad for the guy. If it was still college, I would feel differently, but kind of felt bad for him, unfortunately. Bearded Browns, how you doing, buddy? Jordan's dealing with car trouble, so I didn't want to force him on too long. So I going a little solo here, talking a little quick Browns. My next thoughts and my final thoughts on the Browns before we move on. I'm going to touch on the Bengals very quickly. Again, Jordan's our Bengals guy. You guys know that. So it's going to be a little bit shorter on that end. But my final thoughts on the Browns is we know Deshaun Watson's not playing against the Vikings on Saturday. I understand that. I expect him to at least play a quarter, if not more, in the final preseason game. I think it's necessary. I want to see these guys working together. I know these joint practices are good for that. I want to see him play a little bit more. Jameis Winston also quickly becoming one of my favorite Browns on the team this year. The way he talks about leadership, the way he talks about Deshaun Watson, the way he talks about this franchise is so positive and has so much energy behind it. I absolutely love having Jameis Winston as one of our quarterbacks and potentially a starter if things don't, if injuries happen or something like that. I'll be at the game. Would be nice to see him play in both games. I totally agree. But as everything has been said, he's not going to play. We have to respect that. I need to see him play in game 3, hopefully a quarter, maybe even a half. We need to get the rust knocked off. We need to see live game action. And, obviously I'm rooting for the guy. He's our starting quarterback. There's nothing else to do. Deshaun Watson, we need him to return to form. Quick shout out to everybody in here. We got 70 live viewers. Again, Jordan is dealing with car trouble, so I am trucking my way through solo tonight. Hopefully Jordan can get that tow truck and get himself home. We're thinking about you, buddy. Let's quickly transition, though. We're going to talk a little bit of Bengals football. I know Jordan wanted me to touch on some of the injuries. The injury bug it looks like it's been pretty active for the Bengals recently. They had 2 more injuries today. 2 guys carted off in air casts. Quick shout out to Darren, Fatboy Fadeaway. Watson needs to be better. Exactly. I touched on that at the very beginning. He has to be better. He must be better if this team has the aspirations that everybody is talking about. But the Bengals, 2 guys go off in air casts. It did look like the defense for the Bengals was giving Caleb Williams some troubles. Trey Hendrickson had at least 1 sack, maybe 2. And it sounds like the O-line doing better. Joe Burrow, I heard, not his best day of practice. I could be wrong. I have to go off these reports, these media reports that you never know the full story. I try to go off of, Jay Morrison and some of those guys who actually cover the team and are actually locked in, because some of these other fan accounts, they're just not great. Morrison reported that Joe Burrow did not get hit in practice today. Love that. You got to keep that guy clean. Your franchise player. Offensive line is the biggest question mark for the Bengals. They have the talent. We know Mims is out with a severe with a pec tear. We need you need Joe Burrow to be at the top of his game to make sure and protect him. So, not a lot else. I know they have the preseason game against the Bears. I was hoping Jordan would be able to tell us a little bit more what he was looking for in this game. What I'll be looking for is how the O-line protects Joe Burrow in the snaps that he takes. And then I'll also be watching, because I kind of like Caleb Williams, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. The nails painted, the handbags, all that stuff doesn't bother me at all. It does not bother me one bit. Also, let's take into account that Jamar Chase is not practicing. T. Higgins did not practice today. The Bengals are going to be okay as long as they protect Joe Burrow. Always, always, always going to be the key. So, not a lot going on with the Bengals. Jordan was going to have a lot more information that we're going to be able to bounce back and forth, but that's just, that's life sometimes. I'm going to transition to do something fun on my own. We're going to be picking conference winners for college football. And as you guys know, I absolutely love college football. I've got a few bets in already, so I am excited. I am ready to go. So let's start in the ACC, guys. The ACC, and if you would chime in with your winners, because I would love to hear who you guys think are going to win these conferences, and let's have a conversation about it, because I could be going one way and you guys could be going another. So here we go, kicking it off with the ACC. Do I trust Florida State? DJ Uiagalelei, I don't know if I trust him, but in my opinion, Florida State is the most talented team in the ACC this year, and I'm going to pick them. They have a defensive end who is absolutely incredible. Incredible. If you have not seen him play, go out of your way, go see. I'm looking up his name because I'm drawing a blank on him. Starts with a P. Where is he at? Defense there. Let's go. Patrick Payton, number 11, is going to be on a lot of people's lists for Defensive Player of the Year in college football. Absolute freak of nature. Give me Florida State to win the ACC. All right, next we're going to the American Conference. American Conference, not bad. They got teams like the Charlotte 49ers, Florida Atlantic, Memphis, UAB, Tulane. I'm going to go with, who should I pick out of here? I'm going to go with, I would like to pick UAB as an upset because of the quarterback. They got Zeno, who's an absolute monster. But I'm going to pick Tulane to win the American Conference this year. Tulane, they've been good for so long now. I believe in their brand. I love the green wave. So give me Tulane to win. Let's move on to the Big 12. Big 12, in my opinion, Utah is the team to beat. The Utah Utes is the team to beat. They are coming in from the Pac-12 immediately. Everybody has them circled as the best team in the conference. Sleeper pick, though, for me is the Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas, if they can stay healthy with their quarterback, I believe Kansas can make a run and potentially win the Big 12. It's going to be tough because Utah is that damn good. Cam Rising, hell of a quarterback, absolutely a gamer. Had to sit out last season. He's back. Give me Utah to win the Pac-12. Next, we have the Big 10. Every single one of you watching right now knows who I'm going to pick. It is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Obviously, if Ohio State doesn't win it, in my opinion, Oregon will win it. And Oregon is like I've said numerous times on the show, they are a juggernaut in the waiting. Conference USA. It's Liberty. It's Liberty, guys. Liberty is extremely talented. If you look at this conference, there's not many teams in this conference that is going to be able to give Liberty a game. I believe Liberty runs the table, until they play App State. They play App State the 5th game in the year. They're going to be 4-0 going into that game. At App State is going to be one of the best conference group of 6 games of the season. So circle that on your guys' calendar. If you like college football, App State versus Liberty, that is going to be a fantastic group of 6 game. Check that game out for sure. Quick shout out from Jordan, who's on his phone. It's do or die for Ryan Day. Buddy, we've hammered that desk. We've hammered it. Ryan Day must win this season. But again, Liberty versus App State, going to be a hell of a game. Next, we've got the MAC. We talked about this a little bit before. Miami of Ohio is a good choice. Toledo's a solid choice. I've seen some people picking, I've even seen some people picking Central Michigan. I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to go with the Miami Redhawks. Quick shout out to Dylan Wilkerson. He's done a lot of college football work on his page. Appreciate you, Dylan. Thanks for jumping in and saying hello. But yeah, give me the Miami of Ohio Redhawks to win the MAC this year. Very talented team. I'm excited to watch them play. They've got a couple big games in their own right that we touched on earlier in the season. At Northwestern to start the year, and then they have Cincinnati, then at Notre Dame. So there's not many group of 6 teams that are playing a tougher non-conference schedule than Miami of Ohio. At Northwestern, at home against Cincinnati, at Notre Dame. That's pretty impressive scheduling for a team out of the MAC. Next, we're going to go into the Mountain West. Mountain West. Fun conference. This is a tough one. For whatever reason, I want to go with Boise State. It's either Boise State or Colorado State. Colorado State keeping their quarterback and their wide receiver, and us hearing the news that they were both offered $600,000 to leave is insane. The fact that they stayed without taking that money, I'm going to take Colorado State to win the Mountain West. Kind of an upset pick. I know a lot of people are going to pick Boise. Pac-12, this one's kind of just for fun. Oregon State lost everybody. Washington State doesn't have anybody. Coin flip pick here. I'm going to go Washington State to win the two-team Pac-12. Next, we've got the SEC. SEC is going to be an absolute bloodbath, as it always is. I know a lot of people are talking about Ole Miss here. I know some people have mentioned Tennessee, the freshman quarterback. We'll see how he does in the SEC. We still have Georgia, guys. Georgia is the best team in the SEC. Texas also would be my second pick. I'm going to stick with Georgia to win the SEC. Kind of going chalk there just because I believe in Kirby Smart and what he's built over his time. All right, the Sun Belt. We already mentioned App State and having a massive game. We've got the Chanticleers in here. We've got the Monarchs of Old Dominion, the Dukes. This is a fun conference. If you guys don't watch any Sun Belt football, you're missing out. South Alabama is going to have a good team. But give me App State to win the Sun Belt. Let's see. Dylan can always bank on Wyoming having a competent defense. Offense, not so much. Fun underdog to bet on, though. Well said, sir. But yeah, give me App State to win the Sun Belt. Sun Belt should be a fun conference. I know we're really getting into the weeds here on some of the college football stuff, but it's fun. And, I really enjoyed the segment. But we've come to the end of the show, guys. I'm going to keep it short tonight. Jordan, dealing with car trouble. We're going to be back and better than ever Monday night, live at 9:00. I really, 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 really appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. 82 live viewers. Without my co-host is huge. I want to quickly touch on Cleveland Cavaliers. Still nothing roster-wise. We know Kenny Atkinson's having his meetings. They're back from the Olympics. He's getting to know everybody, getting back acclimated with the team. Love that. I'm excited for Kenny Atkinson to be at the helm for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm not excited about the lack of moves. I'm not excited that Isaac Okoro is still up in the air. There's some things that aren't perfect there, but I am excited about Kenny Atkinson. I don't know how you could be a Cleveland Cavaliers fan and not be excited about the direction of this team in terms of coaching. And then let's talk a little FC Cincinnati. They had another couple transfer. They're bringing in a couple transfers. We know that they are in the final stretch of their MLS. We're getting back to MLS play. Still behind Miami by 5 points. Columbus Crew's behind them at 5 points. Still a lot of soccer to be played. I'm excited about the end of the season. I know we've harped on FC Cincinnati. We're going to get back into it now that we're getting back to league play. So be ready for some more FC Cincinnati news. And that's the show, guys. I really, really appreciate you guys tuning in with me tonight. I really appreciate you guys hanging around. Don't forget that we are doing the Ohio Sports Talk Fantasy Football League. It's a $20 buy-in, a PPR league. We're drafting Sunday, August 30th. If you are interested, we're trying to get 12 teams. Join, send me a DM, message us. We would love, love, love to have everybody who likes fantasy football join in and make this league super competitive. We talked about it last week. We threw down some challenges to different people. I hope that we get to fill out the whole league. So please, please, please join the Fantasy Football League. We'd love to have you. $20. Just, we have Cash App. We have all those different pay services. Just we'll work it out however you need to get you in. Let's get it done. Guys, this has been Doug with Ohio Sports Talk. Thank you for riding with me tonight. It was a fun show. It's hard to do these ones solo. I miss my co-host, but I know he's taking care of business. So we will be back Monday night live at 9 o'clock. We will see you then, back and better than ever. Thanks.